Kia ora team, George here from Touch NZ. Now we all enjoy a bit of touch, but without a proper warm-up, the chances of being injured are massively increased. So to keep you on the field and out of the emergency room, Touch NZ have made a short and easy warm-up series for all levels, proven to lower the chance of injury by close to 50%. So head on over to our site and check them out. Play safe, play smart.
The British Medical Journal in 2008 found that teams that warmed up at least twice a week had 37% fewer training injuries and 29% fewer game injuries.
ACC and Touch New Zealand are doing a really great initiative here with the warm-up initiative that they've put through. It's going to keep you on the field, it's going to keep you active, it's going to prevent you from having those horrible back pains and injuries, so you can do the things that you love.
The Touch Fit 360 warm-up is for all levels. Whether you're a beginner or an athlete, the formula for injury prevention is the same.
Finding it really useful to go through the warm-up before each game. It's preventing injuries, and it's definitely giving me more energy.
There's been studies showing that these warm-ups can help reduce injuries, severe injuries by 50%, which is a massive number, and it's important so that we look after our health, look after ourselves, so that we can continue to play the sports that we love.
Definitely vouch for the benefits of doing a warm-up. I haven't been injured so far this season. I'm feeling really primed and ready to go when the game starts, and I think I'm just enjoying playing touch a lot more than I probably would without warming up.
The advantage of the Touch Fit 360 warm-up is that you don't need any equipment or specialist knowledge. It's a complete warm-up program for different levels. Head on over to our site and check it out. First of all, you'll need a length of about 30 meters on the field, so that you can set up cones every 6 meters. Jog to the last cone and back, running slightly quicker on the return. Jog to the first cone, stop and lift your knee forwards, rotate your knee to the side and then put your foot down. Jog to the next cone and then do the same with the other leg. Jog to the first cone, stop, lift your knee to the side this time, then rotate your knee forwards and then put your foot down. Jog to the next cone and do the same with the other leg. Jog as a pair to the first cone, then shuffle sideways towards your partner, circling each other facing forwards, then straight back to your cone. Repeat this exercise at each cone. Jog to the first cone as a pair, then shuffle sideways towards your partner, jumping in the middle to make contact with your shoulders. Land on both feet with your hips and knees bent, then shuffle back to your cones. Jog to the next cone and repeat. As a pair, run quickly to the second cone, then run backwards quickly to the first cone. Keep your hips and knees slightly bent. Repeat running 2 cones forwards, 1 cone back.
E te tī, e te tā, mai te ao, ki te motu, nau mai ki Rotorua, mo tēnei whakataetai, o ēnei motu e rua, welcome to Rotorua International Stadium. Yes, the 2018 Trans-Tasman Series, you can see on the picture there, it is absolutely pouring down here at the stadium as well. There are some updates that we will give you throughout the game as well. And due to the conditions as well, they will be seeing if the women's games will be on as well, but they'll assess that at halftime for the first game for the Open Mixed. Introducing our commentary team now is touch legend Peter Walters. Also, we've got a guest today, and Sean Brown with over 40 caps for New Zealand, and Maya Williams, who will be providing expert analysis on the referees. Tēnā koutou, gentlemen.
Tēnā koe iru.
Kia ora iru.
Well, I tell you what, we've had an epic battle. Trans-Tasman, you know, you don't expect anything less. Of course, in the Open Mixed yesterday, New Zealand managing to square the series 9-6 with a fantastic victory there. Pete, what were some of your standouts from that game yesterday?
Oh, just the composure of the New Zealand teams. I mean, Australia were always going to be strong, but I felt our mixed, even in the first game, it could easily have gone either way. They come through with the goods with that 9-6 win, and then to see our men's finish the night off the way they did, and the improvements, especially in their defensive structures from game 1 to game 2, was impressive.
Also, yes, with the conditions as well, there is not only adjustments for the players, but also the referees. Maya Williams.
Yeah, unlike the players who have a campaign, they've probably been together at camps over the last 3 weeks. The referees from New Zealand and Australia, really, they're learning as they do. So in game 1, you've seen them trying to build rapport, a teamwork sort of ethic and approach, and then you've seen the results there going into game 2. I thought the game 2 performances across the board were much better, and as a result, the touch reflected that.
Now, Sean, we've brought you in. Obviously, with your wealth of knowledge and touch, you've been involved in the game as a coach, as a player, as supporter as well. Yesterday, you were around supporting. What were some of the cool things that you found from the last couple of games with this mixed grade?
Tēnā koutou katoa, mihinu kia koe iru. Yeah, it's been an exciting first 2 games. For myself, sitting in the stands, I really was impressed with how the mix played, especially the way they handled themselves on attack and defence. And I guess through experiences from past with the couple of wins that we had, I think defence is going to play a key part in today's result.
Right, as you can see on the picture there, rain is absolutely pouring down. And just a reminder too, we will be updating as well. There'll be no national anthems. The players will get straight into the game. We have been informed by officials that the open mixed game will get underway. Half-time, they will assess the conditions and to see if we will play on, because on the field, if we get a bit of a shot on the field, we can see them. There's puddles there over at the Touch 360 logo on the right side there. Halfway as well, and on the left side with the Trans-Tasman series logo as well. So we will keep you updated. We are going to have a game with the open mixed side. Of course, it is 1 game apiece, and New Zealand, you'd say, with a bit of momentum, Pete, wouldn't want to have this game cancelled.
Not at all. These conditions will suit the New Zealanders. They grew up sliding around in puddles all their lives, so they're looking forward to this contest. Whereas the Australians are used to the hot sun and the heat. They'll be worried.
Yeah, of course, yesterday, just a reminder of the results. Game number 1, Australia taking that out by one touchdown, 8-7. And, of course, New Zealand managing to bounce back yesterday in an epic encounter, 9-6. Hopefully we're going to get some of the try-lights over the last, especially from yesterday's game as well, because if you were here, there were definitely some standout moments in that as well. And also with the women's games yesterday, firstly on Friday, 9-5 comprehensively, New Zealand were beaten by Australia. And then Saturday, despite the score rolling out, 8-5 yesterday, 9-5, was Friday. Despite the fact that it was 8-5, at one stage it was 7-1. New Zealand managing to fight back there as we look some of the try-lights there, Pete.
Yes, Australia on attack here. So the guy steps into dump, he steps away and he throws off for a ball. What I noticed yesterday was both teams running a lot of sweeper plays and running a whole lot of options off those plays, whether they actually feed the sweeper, whether they run from half, short side, whether they throw to a chopping link. Some really good options on the sweep plays.
Now, of course, Australia, as they traditionally do, they never give up. As we can see there, number 9 there, Tim Glazebrook, touching down there for Australia.
Yes, what I'm intrigued about is what went on to the early hours of the morning last night with the coaches. They would have been up all night analysing, having a look at the footage, looking at where they can exploit their opponents, be it as a team policy or looking at an individual that maybe, as an example, shutting hard and too tight on their channels. They'll be looking at that and seeing how they can exploit any weaknesses in their opponents.
Of course, that man in shot there, Singy, Michael Singh, will expect him to have a bit of a big game today. Fairly quiet yesterday there, Pete?
Yes, and I had a chat with him after that, after game 2, and he wasn't happy with his game 2 performance. So he'll be looking to get back on track and lead that Australian team around the park in this last decider.
As we saw in that shot there, the touchdown to Daniel Morgan, Puterangi been working well with Keegan Harris from Thames. But that young lady there, Atawhai Hōtene, we saw before, Cody Tote, my bad, Cody Tote scoring a wonderful hat-trick yesterday.
Yeah, she's been playing really well. As the series has gone on, she's really gained confidence, catching those long balls and getting them down quick. I mean, that's a trait for a good female winger in this sport. You've got to catch them, you've got to get them down quick.
Now, of course, Sean, you're joining us up here from a bit of an expert analysis. You've seen some of the highlights and stuff like that. What are going to be the key things for New Zealand to shut this Australian side down and claim a Trans-Tasman victory?
Yeah, that's a good question, Ash. I think if there's an area where New Zealand have to be mindful of, is going to be defence, in particular the middle and the link zone. Because it's raining, I think the game is now going to become a lot tighter with quickies, with short running channels, and so I think defence, especially between the male and the female side, that's an area that they've got to really focus on.
Pete, Bronny just said that with it being raining and probably everyone's thinking that the long balls disappear and it becomes a lot tighter in quickie game. Is this an opportunity actually to, I suppose, call the weather's bluff and everyone's thinking it's going to be in tight, it's going to be quickies, defence is going to be tighter, so actually the attacker going to still try and throw those long balls?
Yeah, good point, Maya, and yes, you're dead right. I mean, the boys are still going to look to throw long. I mean, yes, the ball will be slippery in that, but if you get your body strong in a position to throw and the defence aren't shutting you, you can still throw a 20-metre pass out there.
I imagine you don't actually need to throw it 20 metres anymore because they're so much tighter and it's going to be harder for them to turn. It's wet underfoot. They're probably not going to have that acceleration to get out. It probably now only needs to be maybe 12 or 15 metres. Is that something that could happen?
Definitely, and what will happen is you'll find the wingers will be starting in closer and running an outline. So these days, generally, at the top level, the wingers are starting in and running an outline.
Cool. As we see the three referees there, Luke McKenzie in the middle from Australia, George Haswell, the 7-foot, 18-year-old, and Richie Heap from New Zealand. The same crew has been doing the last two games. I know that they're really happy with their effort yesterday, and they're really going to build on that today.
Yeah, what I'm liking, guys, is even though the weather sort of turned a little bit nasty on us last night and certainly today, is that the feedback from all around the world coming in has been awesome. You know, we've been getting feedback from Ireland, Scotland, England, the USA, all over the world. Everyone's watching, and they're going to be watching again today.
Looking at the Australian side, led by Cameron Nichols. Let's take a look at the teams now, the team lineups. A couple of changes there, Pete.
Yes, for Australia, I see that Leah Ophi-Lukens and Tim Glazebrook. I thought Tim went okay, but obviously we're not in their camp and we don't know what's going on there, why the changes. So it could be injuries, could be anything. So, yeah, some interesting changes for Australia there.
A fantastic lineup, and just a reminder to no national anthems. We are hoping to basically get straight into it as well. You'll see the teams lineup. That's the official word we've had from officials. Of course, they're way on the other side of the field, so fingers crossed that comes to fruition as well. Up next, we're just waiting for the New Zealanders, and as we're waiting, actually, let's take a look at the New Zealand side now. Also captained by Wiremu Takare. Sean, you got some props on this amazing New Zealand team?
Yes, I think experience is going to be an important factor today, led by Wiremu Takare and also Mark Hodson and the female captain in Tina Ashworth. With this being a decider, the playmaking and decision-making is going to be important, and so it's got to be led by those guys from the front. But also, there's a couple young gentlemen in there by the name of Bailey Woodby and also Shannon Tomuri, who are good communicators, great defenders, and also have some good ability on attack, and so we'll look for them to lead the defensive end.
Pete, with these conditions, obviously both defence and attack are going to be hampered. Which one's more significantly hampered, defence or attack?
Yeah, both. both. I mean, obviously, it affects everything, this weather. Generally, it means they're going to be a little bit closer, a little bit tighter. They're going to have to communicate more because that ball will be slippery and underfoot will be very slippery. So to maintain your control, it may not be as fast, obviously. So they're going to decelerate more at the ruck so they don't make an error rolling the ball. Yes, everything may be slowed down a fraction so the errors won't come into play.
And just a reminder to those that have tuned in, who have just tuned in, we will give you an update throughout the series, actually throughout this game as well, because as you can see in the shots, it doesn't actually illustrate how much rain is actually pouring down as well. There was word that perhaps the series could be called off. They will be assessing it at halftime, and at the moment, the word out there is that the women's game could be called off, but we will update you as the match gets on as well. Game number 3 of the Open Mixed Team set to get underway. Of course, Australia being victors in the first game, winning 8-7 in a close battle before New Zealand comprehensively turned the tides by winning at 9-6. And of course, there is a bit of tide or puddle out there on the field as well, as both teams look to shake hands before this match. The next 20 minutes should be crucial for both sides, looking to stamp their mark here at Rotorua International Stadium. Of course, Sean, you know, you've graced these fields. What's going through the players' minds at the moment?
At this time, I'm guessing they'll be excited and also a little bit anxious. But I think what's important is that they start well. So if the New Zealand are tapping off, making sure that they complete their sets of 6, begin their game plans, and they need to get into yards nice and early. And so if they can control that part of the game and start well, and then they can find themselves in a good groove along the way.
Yeah, agree, Sean. Look, they've got to adjust to this wet ball straight away. They can't afford errors in the first couple of minutes. I see in the warm-up already there's a couple of drop balls, so adjusting to this wet, slippery ball, getting a little bit closer together, then you won't have those errors.
And just a question, gentlemen. Do you sort of change the way you pass the ball as well with the leaguey style? What happens there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you've just got to be a lot more accurate and take your time in the particular pass that you're going to throw. But your tactics do adjust and do change. And so you just got to be a bit more mindful and slow down, like Pete said, especially in the contact.
And I think there'll be a lot more cradle catch. So the girls putting their bodies in front of the ball, so the ball hits them chest, and not sort of catching where the ball's, they're reaching out in front of them, but actually putting their body in front, facing their whole body chest towards the ball so they can cradle it into their bodies.
Edu, I know only 2% of our online audience might care about this, but the referees, they have to hold their whistle differently too. If you get water down the chute and the pee gets wet, then you're starting to sound like you're blowing through a wet tea bag rather than through a whistle. So it makes it considerably harder for them as well. Also, referees run 90 to 95% of the time backwards. Players can see the puddles coming up, see where it is muddy, whereas the referees can't. So the job for them is hard, and it's just made 10 times harder by this weather.
No, disagree, Maya. Not 2%, 3% will be interested.
Players underway with Morgan Puterangi getting things kicked off for New Zealand as a co-captain there, Atina Ashworth. Looking to settle things down there. Turner had a fantastic game yesterday, such a strong game. As you can see the effect of the puddles taking place here. Of course, though, touch being called.
And as we see already, errors being made with this wet, slippery ball.
Here comes Hodson now. With all that experience here, looking with Puterangi, working in tandem. Here's Hodson. Accept ball, touch. Bit of a grab there from Aline Mortimer. And position will go to Australia.
Yes, here we go, Australia coming off their line. You'll see there'll be a lot more control of the ball, taking touches a lot with 2 hands more than one, and putting the ball down thereafter.
Here come the Aussies now. There's our first opportunity to have a look at them now. They're up the mids. Here come the Australians with Corey Russell. Russell out to Singh. Another error there. Perhaps an influence from the conditions here.
New Zealand lucky to get away. Oh, well, they didn't get away with that. Yeah, straight away. First touch, fumble at the ruck.
Of course, both teams here really need to make a statement in the first few minutes here. As Australia have possession, can New Zealand hold them out? It's Michael Singh. Bit quiet yesterday, but hoping for a big game from this talented footballer of Michael Singh. believe you had a bit of a chat to him yesterday there, Pete.
Yeah, and you'll see this play here. They they run that sweeper play, and it's generally from left to right. And when you run a sweep play left to right, the dumper's actually dumping using his left hand to make the touch, which suits most people, as 75% of the world population right-handed.
Now, of course, with players adjusting as well, referees, how much of adjustment is needed to make, not just conditions-wise, but during the match as well?
What I've tended to find in my experience refereeing in wet weather, particularly this wet, is that you'll find there's a lot fewer penalties for offside through the field. Defensive lines tend to just continue to roll back rather than stop and move forward.
There's Cody Tote there. Ball will be turned over to Australia. As they regain possession now. Can the New Zealand defence hold tight? Australia looking at bringing the ball back to the sub-box. Getting some fresh legs on there. So number 3, Zara Nichols now working in tandem. That's number 4 there, Paige Parker. Here come Australia now, number 11, Justin Cridlin. Now there's Thompson with those sleeve tattoos out wide to her. But no.
Yeah, Dylan Thompson doing what he does well with his explosive speed, scooping from half, and he beats them a lot on the short side. Here he goes again. Strike dump there, scooping, straightening up, running short side, and throwing it over the top. Touchdown, Australia.
So number 12, Dylan Thompson, experienced campaigner of the Aussie team, and so he's definitely one you've got to watch out for. But I just want to give credit to both teams. Unfortunate mistake there. They did complete their first 2 sets of 6, and so that's going to be important throughout the game.
Aussie draw first blood in game number 3. Of course, these 2 teams are sitting at 1 game apiece. Bragging rights on the line here.
And I think the tactics go very basic now. They'll have a lot of set plays, but you'll find a lot of the time now they're just going to ruck, go down the middle and scoop and beat them short side or an open side, like Shawnee talked about earlier, running a 7s or a W.
Langbridge and Hock now working out in the mid, says Paige Parker. The try scorer there over the right, Parker. Here come Australia. Ball down, New Zealand ball.
Yes, New Zealand made an error on this previous tap-off, so that's 2 errors they've made on the first touch. They don't want to make these errors early in the count. They've got to take control of the ball.
Here come New Zealand now with possession over on the far side there at the sub-box. That's a co-captain Ashworth there. Here's Morgan Puterangi, number 7. Taking up the middle, looked dangerous yesterday. Can he spark something for the Kiwis now as Morgan Puterangi. Morgan Puterangi through.
Yes,
touchdown.
He got a play on call here. Defenders were offside. He played through, and a supporting Nat Turner. Touchdown, New Zealand.
I think what you're seeing the effects of the weather there in terms of the communication. So referees calling that player offside and then a play through, and it just probably was a little bit hard for that defending player to hear that he wasn't quite back 5 metres and therefore got played through.
Well, New Zealand draw level now. It's 1-1 game time. Game on. Here comes Australia now with Corey Russell. Russell there working with Percy and Russell. Here come the Australians now. Michael Singh waiting in anticipation. Look, what can he set up here, Michael Singh?
Once again, setting it from left to right, so the strike dumper here gets a strong touch with his good hand.
Come the Aussie boys with Singh. No dummy half there. Just slowing things down a little bit here. Of course, the weather isn't the only factor here. Great defence from New Zealand. Here come Aussie now with Singh. Signalling for the short ball.
It looked like a no touch was made there by Hodson, and he's appealing it. Let's see what the refs have to say.
Yeah, so by no touch, Pete, means a voluntary roll ball, where the defending player hasn't made the touch, but the attacking player rolls the ball anyway. So that's a penalty infringement.
Perhaps New Zealand got off the hook there, Sean.
Yeah, I think they did. There were a few areas where a couple of the gentlemen fell over, and so body control is going to be important on the line, and so they've just got to slow down and take their time in that area.
Here come New Zealand now, set it down at the sub-box. Fresh legs, no turnover.
Yeah, another error by New Zealand early in the count. It'll cost them. It'll mean the Australians are down on the line, and if you're any good when you're down there, you're going to score touchdowns.
Earlier, boy, you can see in the background there, Keegan Harris. Look to see him inject some pace here. You've worked a little bit with him there, Maya.
Yeah, Keegan Harris. The All Blacks say that they pick good people before they pick good rugby players, and Keegan's a great kid. He's a sponge in terms of learning and just really respectful. Well brought up by amazing parents and Dan and his mum Rose.
From Australia now. Bit of a swan dive into the box. And Australia, out of nowhere. It appeared to come out of nowhere, as we see on the replay.
Yeah, so pre-touch, we need to get our positioning right. Shantamudi makes that touch. He didn't pull a hard enough corner, which means his two support players outside were unsure. One came in to shut, the other stayed out on the mirror. Touchdown, Australia.
New Zealand now with possession again. Here they come, this number 10 captain, Takare, Wiremu Takare. Can see Harris on the field now. Can spot that mullet a mile away, despite the fact that it is pouring now. Here is New Zealand with Takare. Fantastic touch there made on the right-hand side. Here come New Zealand looking for Tote there. Ball down.
Yeah, the Australian wing came flying in on D there. And Wiremu took a quick dump and a pass off, but they didn't quite execute well. So Australia saved there.
Here's Australia now regathering possession. Looking to get over the halfway of the into the New Zealand half. Here comes Lang, Simon Lang with those long legs. Here is Australia, Lachlan Hock now. Hock plants it now, Hock in possession. What can he muster up here? Here's Hock. Nice move. Ball coming out right, but the defence is up to it.
Yeah, that Mace Parsons had a good series, whether it's attack or defence. He's been really showing some maturity above his years.
Of course, there, Shawnee, New Zealand, as they look to take it over the sub-box here, how crucial, how much different, or how not different, I guess you can say, are fresh legs in weather like this there, Sean?
Oh, look, I think it's important, especially with the transition of our subs coming on. Just then, New Zealand had a good defensive set. They made a good stop, and they had a good turnover and got the error. And so they've got an opportunity here to put another point on the board.
Morgan Puterangi now up the middle. Has a standout last couple of games for New Zealand. Is now for Turner. Turner with those long strides, but he will turn that over.
Yes, another error there. New Zealand were looking to strike on the next touch, but an error made at the ruck. This is certainly New Zealand's best attacking pod here.
Here come Australia, bring it over to their sub-box. Touch was made there by Tina Ashworth. Ashworth again, pushing up. Just calling a 5 here to come the Australians. There's Russell. Russell cut up ball. Here's Singh with the scoop. And puts Russell into a gap. The referee takes a bit of a tumble.
The referee was just trying to get a very close look at whether that was a touch or border ground, so that's why he went down that low.
Yes, here we go. Australia attacking the line. Singhy at a half. Short ball to a chopping middle. And great tackle, referee.
He'd probably do good in the NRL there, mate. Here we go, New Zealand up the middle now. That's Shannon Tōmuri. Tōmuri now to Wardby. Wardby goes down. He's Tōmuri with a bit of a good step, with a bit of a hot stepper. Here's the New Zealand. Here's the Kiwis. Looking to attack the line. Touch caught there by Michael Singh. Ball will be handed over.
Yes, Singhy's going good so far. He's really digging deep as one of the older campaigners in there. Australia's going to need all his experience.
Here come Australia now, bringing it back to the side of the commentary box. Up the middle. More fresh legs needed as Michael Singh, his experience, his knowledge, his head. Australia going to need that from him today. 2-1 with the less than 10 minutes to go. Here come Australia now, attacking the New Zealand line, gaining some good yards.
Thompson at half, there he goes.
Thompson looking at setting that up, but the defence was up to it.
Yeah, the defence was good. There was a nice shot, especially at the link channel. I think if there's an area that New Zealand have to pick up, it's through the field defence. As you saw, Australia just drove all the way down to their 5-metre attack line.
Substitution made. Harris back on there with Morgan Puterangi. Here come the Kiwis. Penalty New Zealand.
Yes, nice drives by New Zealand there. When you drive like that, there's a good chance you can get a penalty call for offside.
Comes Captain Takare. Takare back in to Harris. Harris, Takare working in tandem, checking inside. Here they go. This is New Zealand. Australia now regather possession. Here comes the Australians back to the commentary box, the sub box rather.
Yes, Australia have been completing their sets of 6 a little better than New Zealand have, and subsequently they're getting down there and having more shots at the line.
Here come Australia now. And those puddles, negotiating the puddles, going in for the dive.
Yeah, running another W play there, middle dump and split, and chopping back after he split. And if the link doesn't come in and shut, they'll get you.
Yeah, as you can see here, number 10 stepping back, and it was unfortunate that our link, New Zealand link, didn't come in and make that shot.
It's number 14 there, Lachlan Hock, putting the Aussies up. As New Zealand now regather possession. 3-1 here at Rotorua International Stadium as we approach half-time.
Yes, with that last play, you've got to come in these conditions, you've got to come in and shut down and only give them that long ball option over the top.
Of course, Australia have managed to fix their defence since yesterday. Here come the Kiwis now. Captain Takare, here is Hodson, the experience of Hodson. Morgan Puterangi looks to shift it left. Here's Turner. Going for the corner, touch called. And of course, our ball will be turned over. Australia have it there with Aline Mortimer on the far side.
Both teams running similar attack plays where they have the link deep and under and running that rapid line.
Nice shoot there by Hodson. Here come Australia looking to work it up the middle, getting it past the 5-metre line. There's Zara Nichols now. Ever so present with Russell and Nichols. Come the Australians now. That's Captain Nichols. Captain Nichols goes down. Here comes the scoop. Playing at speed despite the weather, despite the wet weather, but that's a touch.
Yeah, good play there by Australia. They went down for a scoop, and on the fifth and final, it's always worth going through sometimes, especially when you got on the back of speed, because you may just get an offside call. They didn't on that occasion because the New Zealand defence got back on side, but good play.
It's Turner now looking to bring the ball over to the sub box on the far end as New Zealand looking to inject some pace, looking to inject some fresh legs now. But there is number 8, I believe. That's Wardby. Here they go. Here come New Zealand. New Zealand now with Jones. Turnover ball.
Yeah, and that was a good set. They finished the ball down the other end of the field. It's in this part of the game that they've got to put pressure on because Australia are building some good momentum on their first, second and their third touch. So they've got to work harder through the field.
Of course, a warm welcome to our viewers watching from overseas, as far wide as England. We've had viewers in Qatar, the Middle East, and also America as well. Your commentary team, Pete Walters, Sean Brown, former Touch Black, and also Maya Williams. As New Zealand look to set this up now with number 6, that's Shannon Tōmuri. Tōmuri and Wardby. Just a bit of hesitation there, but here they go once again. Here come the Kiwis now, there's Jones. Jones and Tōmuri. Here is Wardby. Wardby now sit down. Here's Jones. Jones and Tōmuri. Touch called. No. Directing his player there, Jones. Here come the Kiwis now. Ball played at. There will be a recount.
Yes, Michael Singh up high in the channel and knocked the ball down. I think he tried to intercept, but he actually knocked it down. So repeat set for New Zealand. Let's see what they can come up with.
We see 2 Hauraki Plains students out here, Eru. Keegan Harris, number 8, who we talked about earlier, and also co-captain Tina Ashworth. She's also a Hauraki Plains girl there, a big part of the Thames Valley.
Of course, the Thames Valley have had quite a lot of success, as well as Idle College. These players here, products of both those high schools there here in New Zealand. Here come the Kiwis now. Always looking at that dive. Perhaps the puddle put them off. Actually, I get quite excited diving in the old puddles there. Here's Harris now. Harris teaming with Parsons. Harris with possession. Just captain Takare. Ball goes down.
Australia made an error on their previous set coming out on the first touch, so they'll be looking not to make any errors on this next set coming off their line.
Comes Australia now with possession. Midfield, they'll be looking to draw it back to the sub-box. Here's Singh. Noticeable there with the big long legs as Australia approach the halfway into New Zealand territory. The yellow zone, they call it. I'll get your take on the colour zones there, Sean. But first, here come Australia. Ball down. Explain to us the colour zones there, Sean.
Yeah, so the colour zones of the field at the moment, New Zealand rucking from their 5 is the red zone. As they approach the middle of the field, the touch players, they call that the orange zone. And as they get closer to the attack line, that's the green zone.
As we see a penalty here to New Zealand offside. Take the trick tap now, here come the Kiwis.
Yeah, good rucking by New Zealand. Once again, rucking hard and forcing an offside call, a penalty for offside.
Morgan Puterangi there. Definitely noticeable with those big arms. Here he comes now. Quite handy for the long ball, especially going right to left. Here's Morgan Puterangi with the ball again. Danyon, Morgan, Puterangi. Take it down and work in cohesion with Hodson. Here's Hodson.
And once again, that attack pod from New Zealand of Turner, Hodson and Morgan Puterangi, they come up with the goods. You can see the difference when these guys are on attack and the high strike rate that they have that leads once again to a touchdown.
Yeah, I think you're right, Pete. And that man again, Hodson, showing his speed and the scooping game. I think that's where New Zealand need to lead to try and add a few more points onto the board.
New Zealand draw that deficit closer now, currently trailing by 1 point. It's 3-2 to Australia. Here come the boys now. There's Langbridge. Langbridge to Hock. Hock and Langbridge just checking it one between each other. Hock will take it down.
And just the fact that New Zealand scored there and this pod went back on defence shows you that they're well respected, not only on their attack, but for the defence as well. So they can hold that out, stop a touchdown, then get the next pod onto attack for the next phase. Good play, good coaching.
A player we talked about a lot in Game 1 and Game 2 is Cody Tote, number 10 on the wing there for New Zealand. She had a fantastic Game 1, Game 2. Hasn't had much opportunity in this game, but I think she'll be a key part of New Zealand's success. I get to ref in the Hamilton Elite module every now and then, and she plays in the men's competition, and not on the wing, but in the link and middle quite often. So she's a very, very strong player.
Oh, wow. She opened for our winter touch this year. We could definitely use a player like that. Cody Tote, of course, scored a hat-trick yesterday. Here come Australia now, looking to take it past the halfway. As Zara Nichols now in dummy half to Singh. Singh will dump on Nichols. There's Russell now. Russell working with Singh. Singh goes down now. There's number 17 out there, Leah Percy with Singh.
Yeah, in that previous set, just watching the defensive work of Tina Ashworth is beautiful. Her body positioning at the touch. She's in front of the chest with two hands, or she's preferencing her left hand because she's that point side link. Great defence, Tina. She's got to be a good player with that number 1 on her back.
Yeah, that's a good call, Pete. And I think what makes successful teams is having good female players, and Tina Ashworth is doing a good job leading from the girls group.
There's those arms again of Morgan Puterangi with the ball. Checks it inside. Looks like Hodson will go down. Here's Morgan Puterangi. Fantastic setup. That's a nice touchdown there. And is it our girl? You can hear the crowd there whistling away as you look on the replay now.
Here we go. There goes their attacking pod again, doing the business. Morgan Puterangi scooping short side. Mystery quarter hitting that chop line, ball down. Touchdown, New Zealand.
Of course, she beat Michael Singh too, which is by no means no easy feat. So fantastic work there by the Kiwis to bring it on half-time to 3-3. Game on. We have a second half. We have a decider, and that's what you want. You don't want a blowout. You want a decider here. 3-3. The Kiwis have equalised thanks to a mystery quarter equaliser. For you gentlemen, we'll start with you, Pete. What have been some of the standouts of the first half so far?
Oh, look, both teams playing awesome touch given the conditions. Yes, it looked like they made roughly 3 errors each, especially on 1 and 2, losing the ball. But once they got adjusted, really good play. I like the way New Zealand's working their pods. When they're on attack, get that attacking pod on. They got the hot hand, put them on. It's producing touchdowns for them.
And Shawnee, for you there, mate?
Yeah, one thing you know about the Australian team is that they always come out strong after a loss, and I thought they were well composed and controlled in the first half. But all credit to New Zealand. They did absorb the pressure, and they came back late in that part of the game with the go-to scooping play. And I think that's an area that they've got to stick to, but it's going to come down to the defensive area on the 5-metre line.
Should we take a look at some of the highlights? Sean, run us through these there, mate, throughout the game. There were some spectacular tries here.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, this is Dylan Thompson, one of the experienced campaigners who's really quick. And so he went short side, scooped there with a lower pass over to the winger.
And of course, this was New Zealand's equaliser now through Turner. As you see, nicely set up there by Morgan Puterangi to put in his mate Nat Turner. Australia, though, hit back, though, to get up 2-1. Shawnee, talk us through this.
Yeah, that's right. They did a nice, beautiful step-back play. And with the short hole opening up, gave a nice short ball pop with the middleman running short.
It was Justin Cridlin there scoring that try for Australia to get them up. Here's New Zealand again.
Yeah, and that's Hodgson's go-to play, that little fake the quickie and scooping short side. And so paid dividends with the late cut coming back and scoring underneath.
Of course, just on the stroke of half-time, there's some brilliance from Morgan Puterangi to put Mystery Quarter in the corner.
Yeah, what we've seen is that all these touchdowns have emanated from a 33 ruck. So it's either the dummy half scooping and going short side, or scooping and going open side, getting through, and passing off to a support player to score.
Of course, a wonderful opportunity to have touch here at Rotorua International Stadium. Of course, you know, if you can get down, the beauty about having a stand is you can get under shelter. Actually, Rotorua has produced some fantastic sports people, not just in touch as well. Steve Adams, OKC, of course, his team got knocked out. You've got cricketer Trent Bolt, local Māori Te Arawa boy as well, and also Australian leaguey Dane Gargai. He's also Torres Strait Islander out of Mackay, Queensland, and Ngāti Pikiao, which is the local iwi Māori tribe here in Rotorua. We are hoping for the rain to halt so we can get some fantastic touch here. And of course, we've got one more half in the mix there. Shawnee, I guess what do New Zealand have to do in order to basically claim the series?
Yeah, that's a good question, Edu. I think winning a Trans-Tasman is really tough, and the last time we did that was in 2013. And so the biggest thing coming into the second half is going to be the mental game, how composed New Zealand can be and how controlled they are with the attack and the defence. And so that's going to be an area, if New Zealand are to win, how composed they can be down the stretch. But we can't rule out Aussie. They're always really competitive, and so we've definitely got to watch out for that Dylan Thompson and Michael Singh leading into the second half.
Now, of course, the New Zealand team coached by Hiko Penny. We've in past especially national tournaments that we've had him up here in commentary box. Obviously, he's down there. What's he like as a coach, and what are some of the messages you think Hiko will be giving out to his team?
Yeah, Hika, he's a real people's person. He builds good relationships with the players, and so I think he'll be trying to motivate them, try and inspire them, and that's one of his strengths as a coach. Tactically, I think he can encourage his players to continue with that attacking play, but he's really got to communicate to his guys and his girls regarding the defence through the field, because the Australians are eating up the metres through that part of the game.
As we can see, a shot of the Australians coming back out. Of course, Michael Lovett, the coach there. How worried do you think he'll be now that New Zealand scored on basically the stroke of half-time? Perhaps momentum has gone towards New Zealand. If you're that Australian coach, what are you thinking? What's going through your mind, Pete?
Oh, look here, once again, adjusting to these conditions, they made just as many errors as New Zealand. They'll be trying to knock that error rate down so they can have more chances of attacking the line. He'll be looking for his leaders to pick up again. Obviously, we've been talking about Michael Singh, but Dylan Thompson on attack, he's got to perform, and that is where him and Singhi come into play. I mean, they've been down the defensive end and touchdowns have gone in just when they have been on. Not saying it's their fault, but they have been around. So the other guys need to be doing their work and stopping touchdowns and defending. These guys need to be down the other end attacking and creating touchdowns.
You see Leah Percy there venturing over to the middle, communicating with Russell. Russell has possession. It's Corey Russell, number 1. Australia, though, will not want to back down. The next 20 minutes is crucial. Is it going to be New Zealand or is it going to be Australia as the Aussies get things underway with Corey Russell? Russell working in tandem with Percy. Here's Singh again, directing play, pointing out perhaps an opportunity or a hole. Here is Russell. Russell goes down for Singh. Back to Singh now with the long hit-out ball. Shuttered defence. Defence is good.
Yes, early in that count, Michael Singh was pointing to the referees to get the New Zealanders off the line, so and a tactic where players try and draw a penalty.
New Zealand now back on attack. That's Turner taking it over to the sub-box, getting some fresh legs on, and fresh they are. Here come the Kiwis. Is it our man again? Those arms. Here is New Zealand now through Harris. Harris to Parsons. Parsons will go down. Ball still alive for New Zealand. There's Takare with the ball. Turn over to Australia.
Yeah, good set by New Zealand. Now Australia, let's see how they look to work the ball off their line.
Here come Aussies now with Singh. Singh close to the sub-box here. As a Mortimer. Mortimer plays out a dummy half now. Mortimer. Here's Australia just crossing over into the New Zealand half now. Looking to attack this New Zealand defence is Lachlan Hock. Hock will go down with support played there by Langbridge. No, doesn't need him. Out wide. Touch called there by number 10, Cody Dote there on the other side. Fantastic defence there by New Zealand. And there was Cody Tote there out on the wing. Here are the Kiwis now. That's Captain Takare. Takare to Ashworth. Ashworth will go down. There's Gardner. First time we've had an opportunity to look at Puawai Gardner here in this game for New Zealand. As the Kiwis look to get over the halfway line. The orange zone. Here comes Tōmuri. Tōmuri goes down. Looking for that long cut-out ball. That cradle catch you were talking about before there, Pete.
Yeah, I saw in that whole set of 6, every touch by New Zealand was made with their bodies upright, making the touch and then lowering down to roll the ball just so they don't make any errors. It's needed in this game with these conditions.
Of course, welcoming back to the commentary team a former NZ rep, 88 Test caps, as George Yonke. Welcome back. What have you thought so far on this game? 3-3.
Oh, awesome game. It's been exciting. I've been in the background here looking. I've been trying to organise deals and partnerships with New Zealand Surf Lifesaving. I think it's a good deal at the moment with the weather and these conditions. We need a few yellow and red suits on the sideline just in case we get a few drownings.
Oh, wow. Yes, of course, the local Surf Lifesaving team, they do a fantastic job. Of course, non-profit, you can donate to those fellas as well as we get back to the game now with Australia in the middle. Bringing it over to the sub-box. It's Mortimer now in possession at dummy. Here come the Aussies. It's Moffat, Hayden Moffat and Mortimer. The double M's, M&M's. Great work there from Australia. Bit of pace there with Thompson. But the defence is up to it.
Yes, running a W play. It's always tougher W when you go back the open side because your only option if they're shutting is over the top.
There's Ashworth now on the far side now. She looks to take it close to that sub box, giving the Kiwis a bit of a breather, a bit of an advantage as well. Bit of a sloppy play. Thompson up to it though. But the referee has called a penalty.
Yeah, wasn't quite sure what that penalty was for. I think it was for offside. I thought it was going to be for in the ruck, but I think George has got them for being offside.
Here come the Kiwis now. It's Morgan Puterangi down to Hodson. Hodson works in tandem with Turner. Back to Hodson. Looking for something magic and special along the way as well. Here is Hodson. Directs his teammate there. That's number 3, Drummond, Nicole Drummond. Of course, first time we had an opportunity to see her. New Zealand looked to attack the line.
Yeah, it was a great play by New Zealand, but the Australian winger came in and shut that down.
Ball will go down now. Here come. Almost looked like he was going to go for a bit of a drop kick there. That's number 7, Morgan Puterangi. Turnover ball there to Australia.
Eddie, we've seen a number of situations here, only 4 minutes into the game, where the referees have to consult with their sideline referee. This is where that real team aspect comes in. So we're all referees with our goals. We all want to get the best ranking we can. But when we're out there for the game, the referees really have to work together. And you can see very clearly the referees that do that well. And this is a great team, and they're coming out with the right outcomes, which is most important for both teams.
Of course, the referees do a fantastic job here. We've got 2 of them in the commentary box at the moment. If you are wanting to get involved, you can get involved with Touch NZ or your local Touch outlet now as New Zealand look to get past the attack.
Let's not forget how exciting this game is. This is the crunch one. This is all that matters for the New Zealand at the moment. This is the 3rd test for the open mix. If they win this, we go into the exciting match of the open men's to decide who wins the Trans-Tasman series. And as we're locked in with 14 minutes to go, it's 3 apiece.
Not much in this game now. It's a very tight encounter. Both teams have adjusted accordingly to the conditions, so that's probably not a factor today. Here come New Zealand now. That's Takare. Yes, they will deem that it was played at, so New Zealand will get another set of 6.
Yes, let's see if they're going to run a sequence off this next set.
Is Harris now. Harris.
Ooh, that's costly. First touch.
Seems as if one of the Australian players has given a bit of advice to the referee. Referees initially called the New Zealand player for not going over the ball. So in the rules, the body, your torso must go over the ball.
Geez, a reversal there. New Zealand fortunate enough to get that back after losing possession after the first touch.
Yeah, so a defending player who's going to become in possession of the ball can't rip the ball off the previous attacking team. They must wait till that ball's been handed over. Referee Luke McKenzie has given the Kiwis a penalty.
Geez, how costly was that penalty? Because New Zealand have gone up for the first time in this match. It is 4 touchdowns to 3 as we look on the SAS replay.
Yes, looks like a quickie play, which is great. I mean, they got a recount, so it's a low... it's a low chance of error. Just running a quickie play, gets it down. Well done. Was that Mace Parsons?
Yes, that is correct.
Or Tamuri?
Shannon Tormudi there. That's the actor, Jacob Tormudi. Of course, no relation to each other. Here come Australia now. So the rain really starts to pour down now. You can see on camera number 2 there. It may look nice on the screen now as you're watching on the Facebook stream, but it is absolutely tearing down. Here come Australia now, looking to convene. That's Langbridge now. Langbridge up to... That's Lang and Langbridge, confusing over the names, but the ball goes down either way. Aline Mortimer could not pick that up there as New Zealand will gain a position.
Yes, New Zealand have got that defence sorted. They're nice and tight, letting Australia throw those wide passes if you can, because it probably won't work in these conditions, and it didn't then.
Here come New Zealand now. That's Captain Ashworth looking to get a bit of a breather over at the sub-box here. Here's New Zealand with Turner. Turner will go down. Cody Tote now plays out a dummy half. Here come New Zealand. Looking to really up the ante there is Morgan Putirangi working in tandem there with Harris. The magic mullet there with a little bit of a step. Here they come. But no. That will be turned over to Australia.
Yes, I like the work of Wiremu Takare. He's playing his role really well. He's a setting middle. He's getting the ball down, working hard for these young fellas to get the final pick off the back of it.
Yeah, the weather is crazy here. It might not look like it on the screen, so those thousands watching on the live stream tune in. We're having real trouble and difficulty looking out this window. They're doing a great job with the film crew to give you some pictures on screen, and it looks like they've given the Australian spectators a spectacle right now.
Touchdown to Cridlin. It's number 11, Justin Cridlin, equalises for Australia as we look on the replay.
Yeah, showed some great speed there. Straightened up, went out, swung out wide, showed the dummy and down for the touchdown. It was a great individual effort.
Just an update too, as mentioned before, the conditions were going to be assessed. We mentioned that the women's game could be called off, but at this particular stage, the open women's game will be on next. We will give you an update a little bit later on in the game.
Okay, knowing that, now I might do my phone calls to Sophie Pascoe just to see if she's available and to stand on the sideline. I think we can use their skills right now. Thanks for that one, Mr. Kirker.
Mate, that's gold. And she's gold too. Wonderful athlete there, Sophie Pascoe, Commonwealth Games gold, winning 2 of those medals here. As Australia now got their tails up, they've just equalised. Looking to up the ante as Mortimer now feeds Lang. Lang and Mortimer working in tandem. Here comes Hock. Hock will go down now. The Aussies are here. Perhaps if I think that was number 17, Leah Percy, perhaps if she hadn't slipped over, it was looking dangerous out on the right side, but fortunate for New Zealand though, to no avail.
Yes, it's awesome watching the momentum swings in this game. New Zealand will have a patch of a couple of minutes, they score, they're going well. Australia will do the same, and they've just had one. It's just great because all the mental stuff that's going on, it's very interesting at this elite level.
New Zealand get inside the halfway of Australia in their territory. Checking it back in. That is Morgan Putirangi plays the ball. Morgan Putirangi down now for Hodson. Hodson, quick feet. Ball goes down though. Here comes Australia now. Australia up the middle now. They'll look to bring it back now. That's Langridge now who brings it in. Mortimer plays out a dummy. Mortimer following in the tail there of Langridge. Here comes Mortimer. Here comes the guys now. That's number 4, Paige Parker. Bit of a dummy inside. Bit of a... Just dancing around there, looking to bring Thompson in to inject him into this game. What can the Australians do? Thompson looking dangerous with Cridlin, the try scorer there to equalise. Cridlin and then Thompson. Thompson in 2 hands.
Yeah, that's great play by Australia. Just looking to see who's going to make the touch. They had 2 defenders up. They did the strike dump on Turner, and they ran that way. They run at him, so he's got to retire, and they just get a little late cut off there. Very clever. 2 defenders up.
Also dragged Morgan Puterangi there. The gap opened up. And Australia go 1 up. It's 5-4 now. Can New Zealand, what can they muster up here? Plenty of time in this game here, just under 9 minutes now.
Yeah, the man that needed to set up for Australia, who's been very quiet this tournament, one of the best mixed players in the game at the moment, is Dylan Thompson. So he's come to the occasion on final day. He's a big game player, so Australian got a lot on his shoulders, and he's starting to fulfil the prophecy.
Here comes Australia now. That's Hodson. No, that's Hock. Getting them mixed up there. Hock and Hodson. They almost sound the same now. Mortimer out of dummy. He's playing that pivotal role on the subs. That's Singh and Mortimer.
Yeah, Edu, I could do with some bacon hock soup right now.
Mistake there made by Mortimer as New Zealand retain possession. Taking it to their far side with Ashworth. Ashworth now. Here comes Jones. Jones, a bit of a shimmy. Jones goes down. Fantastic touch there made by Leah Percy.
Good defence by the Australia there. It looked like nothing on. He got up and struck it really hard.
Here come New Zealand now. There's Takare to Harris. Harris to Takare. Checking it back in. Setting up for the next play. It's Takare and Harris. What can they muster up here and reply? The one deficit down. Here come New Zealand now. Takare to Harris. To Harris. Looking. Fantastic touch there made.
Yeah, New Zealand setting up too far out there. 10 metres, giving Australia the easy read on defence. The rest of the 5 players are all back on side, so there's not too much pressure. They've got to work it on the 5, I think, Pete.
Yes, you can see there, the Australians, you can just look at them and feel they're feeling a little bit confident at the moment. Their tails are up. They're up by 1. They're looking to consolidate and not make any errors here.
There's Thompson now. Thompson gasses off Harris, but the touch is made. Mystery quarter there.
Wow, Dylan Thompson. He showed his outstanding speed there and obviously skill to know where to run. Slid between defenders, over for the touchdown.
On the SAS replay here, we see Dylan Thompson once again fulfilling the prophecy. I get a chance to get that one right. Good honesty there by the New Zealand player, number 12. Dylan Thompson, put your hand up, mate.
Fantastic honesty call there by Mystery Quarter. For a minute there, thought she'd made the touch, but no, touchdown. As the errors creep in now for New Zealand. Find themselves down by 2. The Trans-Tasman series on the line with 6 minutes to go.
This is where New Zealand need to feel the crowd. Last night it was intense. We could hear them. It was a small crowd, but a very loud crowd, and the Facebook is going crazy. Send your love in, show the love, so these people here can feel it on the field, and let's go to the decider in the 3rd and final with the men's.
There's Australia now out wide, and it's Cat Stevens. But no.
The cat in the fiddle wasn't on her side today, so it was a forward pass on that occasion. New Zealand have the ball now. Going to ruck it out hard, see if they can get into the position they want to be and finish off strong. There's nothing in it. With just over 5 minutes to go, we got a showstopper on our hands.
There's Turner there. He's had a strong game there, Turner. He'll be looking to G up the team now as New Zealand get inside the half of Australia. There's number 9, Bailey Wardby now. Wardby back into Tōmuri. Tōmuri, their dancers. Wardby has the ball. Nice little short ball there to Jones.
Oh, New Zealand get a recount here, 10 metres out, fresh set of 6, and all the supporters will be here. We got to catch up with a few from Auckland, and those ones there were Mario, Tyrone, and Daniel. Hopefully they've had a boys' weekend, great boys' weekend. Managed to catch up with them while they were getting their chai lattes with trim milk. So they might be wet there, might have been a big night, or they may have head back to Auckland. All the best, guys. Keep supporting New Zealand.
Tōmuri now goes down to Wardby. Wardby into Jones.
Yeah, good defensive shape by Australia here. They're channeling well, they're shifting well.
Here they come now. There's Wardby. Wardby looking to link with the Tōmuri.
What we're also going to notice in these last 4 minutes or so is the touches are going to get very aggressive. New Zealand trying to get back in the game, and Australia trying not to make an error as they work down.
Yeah, some people might have thought that was a hard touch, but the onus is also on the attacking player to make sure that they're strong in the ruck and that they're not holding the ball weakly for it to come out. So good call by the referee there.
Here come Australia now. That's number 9. Here come Australia now out wide, looking for another touchdown. Making it look too easy for Australia there out on the wing.
Well, a golden patch for Australia these last couple of minutes. I think they've scored 2 or 3.
Yeah, nice good hands there in these wet conditions, passing through the hands, getting out there to the number 3 on the wing. What a beautiful touchdown for Sarah Nichols.
Yes, Sarah Nicholas there scoring in the corner. They're putting Australia up. For Australia, though, they won't want to rest on their laurels, though, despite being 3 points in it. Anything can happen with 3 minutes. Here come New Zealand. What can they do? They need to score next. There's Harris. Harris checks it over. Receives the ball again. Looking to set something up. The defence, though, from Australia standing up to the task. Here's Harris. Harrison Takare. But no, that'll be touch called. Here come Australia, looking for the quickie.
Look, Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, but there seems to be a real difference in the body language between the two teams. Australia look quite purposeful in everything they do, whereas the Kiwis are looking more maybe hopeful.
Yeah, Maya, you're right. And at this point in the game, you can just see it in their body language. Australia know they're up. Now they're just looking to maintain control. They're controlling the tempo of the game. They slow it down here. You'll find they'll pick up and make it fast at the end here, get a good strike dump on. And New Zealand a little bit more tentative, trying to force things because they know they've got to get back in this game and they're running out of time.
Another penalty awarded there to Australia. They're looking, there's that man again, Thompson, looking ever so dangerous. Back again now with Moffat. Moffat inside now. That's the Hawk. Here comes Moffat and Thompson. Thompson dancing. Ball goes down.
Good defence, Tina Ashworth. Straight up and striking that ball.
Here come New Zealand now. It's Parsons.
You see here when you don't make the yards and the subs actually have to go backwards to come onto the field. This set they won't get down to the other end.
Here come New Zealand now inside the half of Australia with just under 2 minutes to go. Still salvaging some pride here. Australia up by 3. That's Turner. He's had a fantastic game for the Kiwis. Hodson. Touch called there by number 11, Justin Cridland.
With a minute and a half to go, Australia in the hot seat here. They're going to settle these set of 6. They're not going to lose the ball. New Zealand have to dig deep. It's going to be a tall ask to get 3 touchdowns, but they just need to finish off strong and see what could happen. Anything can happen in these conditions.
Captain Nichols and 17 Leah Percy working it now. Up the middle, there's Percy to Russell. There's Singh lurking out. Perhaps took a bit of a dive just to soak up a little bit of time, but just under a minute to go. Can the Kiwis salvage some pride here? It's Morgan Puterangi now to Turner. Turner brings it over to the sub box. Here come the boys. This is Hodson. Hodson inside there to Wardby. Wardby plays the ball. Wardby checks it back. There's number 6, Shannon Tōmuri on there now. Tōmuri goes down now. Here comes number 5, Aoife Jones. Jones to Tōmuri. Tōmuri to the ground. That will be a recount. The Kiwis want to take this quickly now as they try and look to attack the line. What can they salvage here in the last few seconds of this match?
They'll be just looking to try and get another touchdown. They know this game is gone from them. They need to work down and try and score off the set.
Here come New Zealand now, the last throw at the dice. A few words there said by Shannon Tōmuri. Perhaps saying, kamate, kaura, kaura. Here comes Tōmuri now. Takes a tap. The Hooters gone at the stadium, Rotorua International Stadium, puts it down. And Australia have claimed game number 3 of the 2018 Open Trans-Tasman Series, 7 touchdowns to 4. And you can see they are absolutely elated, the Australians. Of course, the weather hasn't shown up here. there was question marks whether the series would get underway, but Australia have claimed the Open Mixed Series, two games to 3 at 7-4.
Eru, once again, we've seen the class of an Australian touch team come to the fore. They probably didn't have the momentum going into this game, getting heavily beaten yesterday. But once again, it's almost like the difference in mindset. A team that has those high expectations and is used to success, as opposed to a team who's always striving to attain that same success. So a great effort by the Kiwis, great to win, great to keep the series live going into Game 3. But once again, just that mental strength coming through, the class, the quality, the accuracy by the Australian team that really consistently for 40 minutes dominated in every area of the game. And so congratulations to the Australians, but also a massive congratulations to the Kiwis getting up in that second one and fighting in all 3 tests.
Introducing Sean Brown back into the commentary box. You took a bit of a back step. What did you observe, and where do you think for the New Zealanders, as you see on the screen there, went wrong for them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think firstly, as a spectator, it was an absolutely amazing series from Game 1 right until Game 3. It was really exciting, and the game could have went either way. I guess it was in that fourth quarter of the game where Aussie got that try to put them up by 1, and then New Zealand weren't able to kind of swing the momentum back their way. And so full credit to the Australian team, always tough to beat, but the New Zealand side, especially with the young campaigners that are in there, can be absolutely proud, and I think it's a good build-up leading into next year's World Cup.
Yeah, look, I think New Zealand can take heart from this. It was a great mixed series. Australia the first game, New Zealand the second game, and in this decided, it wasn't until the last 5 minutes that Australia got on top of New Zealand. And look, we talk about this all the time, about that last 5 minutes and playing for the whole 40. They are just better at it. We have got to get better at it, sticking it out for the whole game and going into there knowing that, having the belief that you can do this. Because when you have that belief, then you get every little process that you need to do. Catching the ball, passing the ball, rolling the ball without making an error. So, look, commiserations to New Zealand, but well done, Australia. That was a great win.
Of course, just adding on to what you guys were saying, gentlemen, as we see both teams, this is an example of what Trans-Tasman is about. You have your battle on the field and the camaraderie or whanaungatanga you have outside the field, as well as both teams huddle up. We're about to prepare for the interviews, but perhaps I want to add this dynamic into this, boys. Dylan Thompson, I mean, in that second half, he pretty much changed the course of the game for Australia.
Yeah, look, Dylan Thompson came off NTLs as the MVP. And he carried that form on. There were times when he was down, but when he's on, he can win a game for you.
Okay, then our man George Yonke is standing down. He's got both the captains. He's actually got Tina Ashworth from New Zealand and also Cameron Nichols ready to go. Let's cross down now to George with the post-match interviews.
Oh, George Yonke here, reporting for the live stream all around the world. My gosh, what a day we've had. We're lucky to be playing, to be honest. They actually want another water sport and touch to be one of them. What a great game we've had. It was a hard effort out there. I'm going to start off with Mr. Fantastic, Cam the man. What an outstanding effort out there. The first thing I'll say, you're a real estate agent and you really put some property on that 5 metre line, right?
Yeah, look, we had our opportunities. I thought it was more an end-to-end game. It wasn't a fast-paced game, but you can't get that in these conditions. I was chatting to Tina on the way over here, and this whole series has just been really exciting. You can't fake passion, you can't fake commitment, and that's what they brought at us, and we had to match it. And the game could have gone either way with these conditions. And look, I'm happy, but as I said to Tina on the way over here, one of the best series I've been involved in.
Awesome, Cam the man. So let's talk about the game plan for today. What was it for you guys?
Look, we've been a bit sketchy with our game plan in 1 and 2. This one, it was just back to basics. We took a leaf out of Melbourne Storm and just playing possession, getting it down there. And sometimes we ended our sets in a corner that we didn't want to. But, you know, it's always going to be hard to get touchdowns in these conditions, driving from your end. There's so many tangible elements that can go wrong from, you know, that 70 metres upfield. So we wanted to play possession. When our opportunities came and repeat sets came, we had our pods. We knew what plays we could run, and we had some change-ups, and were fortunate enough to get a few more tries, and that was it.
Oh, it's a great insight to how the Aussies were thinking. They are the champions of the open mix. This man will be celebrating, but there was a man out there walking on water today. He came to the party. Dylan Thompson.
Yeah, look, Dylan has a portfolio that consists only of attack. So he was able to walk on water probably because he wasn't doing the hard yards in D. His boots weren't as heavy as ours. He's a skillful guy. We were pleased to have him in our squad late due to a number of call-ups to men's and injuries and whatnot. He's a class above. He's intellectual when it comes to touch football, and he reads the game supremely, and we're fortunate enough to have him as part of our arsenal.
Nice, and you can see why you're a real estate agent, because I actually wanted to buy Dylan just after that conversation, mate. I'll let you go, mate. Let you celebrate with your team.
Take over the interview.
Nice. You go back to makeup, mate, and sort it out there. I'm here with Tina Ashworth. What an exciting lady. She had an outstanding game. We talked about her lots in the commentary box, all the way from Sydney. How's it feel to be back in New Zealand representing your country?
Yeah, there's nothing like being on home soil. And like Cam said, we came with a lot of passion. We grinded. We stayed in the game right until those last sort of 10 minutes where sort of Aussie took it away from us. Our game plan was to really stay tight, tighten those combos that we had. Unfortunately, errors has crept into our game. There was a few gaps, but look, we've come, steps away from where we've been in the past. So we're on the right track. We're improving, in time for World Cup next year. But to be here on day 3, playing off for an actual series is really exciting. I'm proud of our crew. We have worked really hard, and we've still got a great culture within us, and the conditions. It was fun. So it did slow the game down, but it was a great game.
Yeah, after that game, I'll say you're a double international because you're part of the dive team as well. Hey, I know you guys will be looking to next year with the World Cup in Kuala Lumpur. Would that be right?
Absolutely. We know this is just a part of that preparation, and we've got lots of work to do. It's been a lot of time together, but like I said, we're on the right track. We've come, folds away from where we've been in the past. We've got the right people to do it, and we've got the right structure in place. So we believe in that, and we're just got to keep working on it.
Yeah, thousands following you guys, cheering for you guys. We know you put your heart and soul out there, so we're very proud of your efforts. And Australia, congratulations to you guys. But I'm very fortunate enough to have one of the referees here, all the way from the South Queenstown, talking about real estate. We're going to talk about property in Australia and property in New Zealand, because this man, you're in that area as well?
Oh, love it. What a place to be down in Queenstown to sell real estate too.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'll finish advertising these guys, but this is Richard Heap, one of the top referees in New Zealand. Tell us how it felt out there. Let's get a referee's perspective.
Oh, look, first of all, it was just a fantastic series. These guys have just got amazing skill, as you see out there today. Super tight series. For us as referees, we work together as a team as well. Team of 3, we're really tight, so our job out there is just to keep the match flow going. These guys were really awesome in what they do, amazing skill, they listen well, so for us it's really just being there and hanging on for the ride. They played the game themselves.
Nice. I was expecting a beep test for you guys with lots of injuries, 20 metres working at the level 18, but the skill set was high in that game. What did you think?
Oh yeah, fantastic. As you can see out there, it was half a swimming pool, half a little bit of grass, and the skill these guys have to be able to pull off, holding the ball, doing what they do, stepping, running, is just fantastic.
Awesome. And ladies out there, he's not putting on a sexy voice for you. That's because he's been talking his butt off all game. He's got a lovely lady and some little tamariki back there that he's looking after. He's a great man. You did your country proud, and how did it feel working with the Australians?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, we have a high performance squad in New Zealand, and obviously they have one over in Australia. We do a lot of tournaments together, especially Trans-Tasmans and things like that, so we all click really well as a unit. We've been working on that probably in the last 2 or 3 years, and look, a very cohesive group. We could all jump on the field in different combinations and ref really well. So.
Brilliant. And this game's nothing but love. But I'm going to try something here, because there's a lot of people, there's a few haters out there. We're going to just show the love between Australia, New Zealand, and the referees with a big cuddle.
Oh.
Let's have it in here.
Bring it in.
Nice, Richie. Not
got a tongue in my ear.
Yeah, tongue in the ear. Beautiful. And we're signing out here. Hopefully we're coming back with the women's game for the 3rd test on day 3. Touch. What a game. Well done, guys. Well done. Good work, brother.